coming from that from Iraq and being here, and then kind of being crushed. My dad being crushed for the financial part by not knowing the culture, the language, and the systems. Maybe for me, I needed that to like kind of have a shield so we can protect ourselves. This is a casa, the daily routine. Wake up, maybe 10 minutes without anything. Maybe ask Alexa some soothing music, and jump on my phone, jump on my computer, shower, maybe come out here, drink some tea, maybe not, and then head to work. Usually it's very quick for me, like within an hour I'm out.
I pictured this a little different.
What did you picture?
I don't know. Let me put it this way. When I first met you on Instagram.
Yeah. Everybody meets me on Instagram, I guess. Yeah.
I perceived you as somebody
Bachelor pad.
bachelor pad.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's right. A lot of people expect that.
Yeah.
No, it's the culture. So, we stay close, especially when we're out of, like, a lot of people who are out of the country that leave because this was stuck and there's ice.
Yeah, there's ice right here.
There's wow. So, if for part of the family culture, like if I like it's easier for me to leave and go anywhere else, but family, grandma, she has a few years left, and just like they stay close to each other, and when we get married, that's when we leave. That's part of the culture. It's not like a set on stone, but I would say 95% of that is the culture.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
So you stuck with the culture of it, which is nice.
I mean, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I mean, bachelor pad sounds good, and I've rented places before and stuff just for partying and out. But that wasn't fulfilling. So
I think this is more fulfilling. Being with your family,
yeah,
not an empty house.
exactly. I don't know. Just obviously, when I get married, I'll have my own house and all, but it'll be probably close to them because they're gonna want to hang out. They get old, they came here. They've seen a lot, so I can't, I have to understand why. Like, they've seen a lot, and we came here for the better, and they did it for us. They actually left back home for us, for our safety, their safety, and whatnot.
Yeah, because you guys are Catholic. That was not like a.
Yeah, I mean, we're persecuted in more than one way. It was, first of all, we were Catholic. Second thing is that we worked with the U.S. Army. So the insurgents didn't like that for sure. So we were like a double whammy for someone. Yeah, but yeah.
Did you guys own businesses over there in Iraq?
My dad owned like a kind of maintenance and like for generators for the military bases back home. That kind of got really, really dangerous. But yeah, nothing crazy. We made some money back home, but then coming here, we lost it all. Like, lack of knowledge, just different culture, language barrier, cultural barrier, everything. So obviously I wasn't involved because I was young, but my dad lost it all. So I remember he was sitting right there, like literally on that chair, and it was a different chair back then, but yeah, like literally right there. And that's where he lost like 70 something pounds, I remember, and then like within a month or something. And I've never seen my dad cry, believe it or not. My dad's a tough guy, and that was it, because he's like, I failed. He failed. He felt like he failed, which it's, granted, he doesn't know better. Like, he came to somewhere, we fled from there, so not knowing any better, he thought that he could be successful there, he can be successful here. Obviously, difference. There's a lot of differences. So, and that is the moment that I decided, like, because they wanted me to go to school. You know, they
yeah.
want to see something hanging on the wall,
Yeah.
and that was that moment that, you know, I know, like, if I tracked it down to the moment, that was that moment when I saw him sitting there and I saw him through that door, is the moment I decided to go and like make sure that they're gonna be living off well, and their house would be paid off, and like I would be able to take him on vacations and whatnot, which I was able to actually. I paid off for the cruise flights. That was like a year and a half ago. I don't remember how. And that was one of my goals. And the second thing was paying off their house or buying a house somewhere where they like. But my dad loves this house. He doesn't want to leave because his garden.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's where the mortgage payoff came from. So, yeah. No.
So whenever, let me ask you this: whenever that day, when you decided to do something, what did you do?
Everything. Like, so right around that time, I didn't have my work permit, and obviously we didn't want to do anything illegal because we just, you know, we came as a work permit, and then we converted to an asylum where it got rejected, so we had to appeal it. So, and then we got accepted, but then by that time we got accepted, we had, I got what's called a work permit.
Okay.
As soon as I got my work permit, I would start working right away, instantly. Found a job right around here, and it was a laundromat. Monster Cleaners. It's right down the street. We can go to it right now on the drive. And yeah, just that. And then after work, I did side jobs, whatever I could. You know, I worked as an AC technician for like help to technician as a helper, and then I painted fences. I worked in plumbing. I did it all, and like it was like I created my own opportunity there, and then decided to go work with the U.S. Army. Obviously for like 3.5 years, along the way going back and forth because it was like once a month and once every 2 months for 3 weeks. I would come back, and then that money that I have saved, I would go buy cars with and try to flip it, and you know, just here and there. The rest is history. But yeah, that was like, if you go back and track that in the moment, that's why I mentioned it. Like that was literally that moment right there. That's why I hate sitting in that chair. I hate sitting in that chair. Obviously, you needed some motivation, but I hate seeing my dad, like he was sitting there and crying. You know, losing weight. He wouldn't eat. We would force him to eat. He wouldn't eat. So I used to look at money where it's like something. It has to be gotten. Like you need. It's a must. And it's almost like maybe for me because, you know, coming from from Iraq and being here, and then, you know, kind of being crushed, my dad being crushed for the financial part by not knowing the culture, the language, and the systems. Maybe for me, I needed that to like kind of have a shield so we can protect ourselves. Maybe, you know, we're not gonna lose our house, you know, or like something, just so we can have our own family, you know, just together. So that was what I looked at money, or like, you know, or to maybe even get validation, you know, or to be recognized, because coming here, you know, in high school for the first 6 months or whatever, like I wasn't, you know, you don't relate to the culture, so maybe I felt like I need this as my guard, right? I need the money, but you know, looking back to it, that was stupid of me to look at it that way, because money is just a byproduct of success, and happiness is the ultimate success. And it sounds redundant that people say that, but it truly is, because money is just a byproduct. So if I look back to it, and if I had to invest something in myself 10 years ago, because that's when I started business, 10 or 11 years, 2009. So yeah, that would be 10 years ago. I would have spent definitely way more than that, because my philosophy was like, I can learn it, I can do it, and I by my trial and error, which was not smart of me saying that, by my trial and error, I would never forget that lesson. But that lesson, yeah, it's not forgotten, but that lesson is so expensive, and I don't mean expensive by money only, I mean expensive by time. I lost so much time learning those things. I didn't hack my time. That's why I keep talking about time hacking, because that's like the biggest thing for me. almost 30 years old, and I feel like I missed out on a lot because of my stubbornness. Because I felt like I needed to do it and fail at it, which is not a bad idea entirely, but it is a bad idea if you're trying to race against time. And if I had to do it all over again, I mean, I work 2 or 3 jobs at a time. That's not a problem. Because I saved money. I saved money even working $6.25 when it was like legal, $6.25 or $7. I don't even remember how much. I remember I saved money and like whatever. I always save money because I used to drive minimum. I didn't stop at like gas stations and whatever. I'm sure you've heard of that. And I remember it took me like over a year to save like $3,000 or something, or $4,000. I don't remember how much. And by accident, my mom used my card, and all my saving was gone. And she forgot she was gonna move the money over when she had it, and she forgot about it. And I never said anything. But it took me over a year to save that, so I can go ahead and invest it in something, For me, it was like investing in something I buy and stuff, because I tried even Herbalife. I tried a bunch of things, and believe it or not, I didn't even feel bad about it. I didn't even feel bad. I did not feel I didn't even, like, nothing. And something like that. I even remember something happened with my brother. When he lost his job, he started using my credit card, and he spent something like around that time. And it took me a little less time to save that much, because I was doing a bunch of things too. Like I was doing that and the AC and like all this. So I was able to save a little faster, like that $3,000 or $4,000 or whatever. And then, and then he used that card, and he himself forgot to pay me back. I mean, I didn't feel as bad. I didn't feel bad, but I did feel a little bit bad. But with my mom, I didn't even like at all. But like maybe that was a good investment. But should I have used some of the money that I had, like even if it was $1,000 or whatever, to educating myself and to cut my learning curve? Because at the end of the day, I did spend a lot of money learning, man. Learning the wrong way, like where I would lose, like in a car business, where I would do one mistake where I lose $10,000. Like that, and that was just like 5 years ago. $10,000 is a lot of money. Like we're just like making mistakes here and there, and just cutting down the learning curve. And if people are scared, and I get it why they're scared, because I'm a skeptic as well. Like I've seen a lot of people that are not in business. They don't know what they're talking about. They just sell ad lib, and I don't want to bring names, but they just take information from this person. They haven't even really done it themselves. Anyone can do that. I can listen to YouTube. I can listen to a podcast. I can read something from somewhere and just speak it in a different manner, and then I can sell it to people. But is that really? I mean, that's how I think, like, about the gurus or like the educators that are not in business or they don't do business, and that's why people should be skeptical. They should do their homework. But every time I want to invest money into myself, I look into who's that person is, and that's what I suggest. But I get it why people are afraid. They're afraid because of that. And I know I'll go in rabbit holes, but the story should lead to that. People, if you believe in yourself. I was talking to someone yesterday, and they're like, "Oh, we don't really have a business, we have a hustle." I'm like, then don't try to educate yourself. If you're ready to have a business, don't do it as a side hustle or side business, because that's not how you build a business. You just told me that you want to have a business, but you're not willing to have a business. It kind of doesn't make sense. So, as far as investing in yourself, I think it goes beyond business, self-development, everything. But just choose the right people. That's it. And I think people are being skeptical because years of abuse, of people abusing it, bad people abusing that trying to teach you things that they don't really know, they can't relate. You ask them a question, they go around it, or they answer you with a general answer, where the technicality is the number one thing, especially for someone like me. I'm an implementer, and I'm a systemizer, so technicality is everything to me. I don't want someone to tell me, yeah, just go and do it, and I want to feel good about myself. I don't care about that. I can feel good about myself when I'm around my family, when I'm around my friends, my loved ones, everybody, when I go out, but not just feel from some stranger telling me, oh, go do it and that. I don't want that. I want, if I'm paying for something, I want the technical. I want to see how A to Z. I want to see the details, and that's that's where people lose translation now, because I guess it's kind of almost tricking them. It's like taking them to a concert and they make them feel good. It's like almost like dopamine, I guess. I wouldn't know, but someone said that to me. It's like, yeah, it feels good to be there, but you feel good for a couple of days, short amount of time, and then, I mean, what's the point? I mean, why would spend that much money to go learn something, but you're really not. You're going there to feel good about yourself and feel good. Yeah, I get it. There's networking. You meet people. You network with people, but I want the proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for, and I think that's what people should look for as well. If otherwise, unless you like the other stuff, then yeah. But I mean, not everybody's the same. But I can just talk. I can talk about how I like things, and that's how I like the things.